Whenever I go to events and they keep saying, Dad, you need to talk to your daughters, I always tell them no. Parents need to talk to their kids, regardless of what gender. It's not just girls that are being trafficked, boys are being trafficked too. If you keep isolating boys, then you're going to suppress the stats and the research that's being done. And then boys will be left behind because right now there is no home for boys that are being trafficked. There is no resources for male victims of human trafficking or sexual assault or even domestic violence. And so we've got so many programs, and I'm glad that people are wanting to help women and girls. But now we have these boys that need help too. I remember when I was 6 years old and I used to twirl my dress. I was twirling my dress because I loved how it was flying. Whereas a pedophile, he's thinking what's underneath my dress. When this one man pulled me closer to him, I looked at my dad because I didn't want to go near him. I didn't know the man. And my dad would look at me and says, be nice. And here's the other thing. This is the one thing I beg parents not to do. If you already did it, that's fine. You can start now. Please do not make your kids hug and kiss and sit on anybody's lap. I don't care if they're grandma, grandpa. If the kid initiates it, that's fine. But once that's done, talk to your kids. Because when I hear parents that says, oh, Uncle so-and-so is not going to do that, you don't know. Because I have sat on so many relatives' lap that I could feel the man get aroused. But I didn't know what that was. I remember wanting to get off and he was dry humping me. And I was only 5 years old. And then so when I was squirming a lot, my dad would pinch me in the arm and said, sit still on this man's lap, dry humping me in front of my parents. And nobody did anything. And as I look back, I think we as parents, even when we're going to family reunions, holiday gatherings, funerals, it doesn't matter. Be observant of what your kids are doing. And also playtime. Listen to how your kids are talking to each other. I'll give another example that manifested that how child abuse can manifest into something even worse. And I'm being very, very transparent. So I was 5 years old. I wanted to play house. There was an older girl. She was 8. Guess what? We were involved in sexual activity. Does that mean she's a predator? No. She's just as much as a victim as I am. When people ask me, when do you cross the threshold of being a predator? And I tell them, my personal opinion is at the age of 15. When you are 15 years old and attacking a small child, by then you need extreme help. But if you pass the age of 18 and messing with a child, then you've crossed the line of pedophilia. Because I do know that there are some teenagers that got involved. When I was 5 and this 8-year-old girl, I did not see her as a predator. In fact, we reconnected on Facebook and she confessed to me that she was sexually abused. So she thought that was normal. And her sexual abuser was actually a woman, whereas mine was men. She had multiple women teaching her how to do sexual things. So she thought at the age of 8, I want to teach Chong something I know. Because do you remember being a kid and you wanted to learn something that was considered adult? And if you got to do adult things, and when I say adult things, I mean like cooking, being able to help your dad fix the gutter, those are considered adult things. When we're told we can do that, we get excited, we get elated, because we feel like we stepped up. When adult things become unhealthy and violate us, children don't know that. They don't see that as violation because it's already been crossed. That's why it's so important for parents to educate their kids, to talk to them. I had a mom that one time asked me, how do you talk to your kids about sexual abuse without being obscene? You don't even have to talk about sex. You don't have to use the word sex. What you want to start out with is what boundaries look like. What does healthy boundaries look like? I would always, when my son was little, I used to say, reach out your arms like this. And I said, bring your hands together like this. If people pass your elbow, they're stepping into your personal space. That's not okay. And even if someone's a hugger, if you're not comfortable and you want to be polite, just say, give me a high five instead. My family, when they bring their nieces and nephews, they'll say, give Auntie Chong a hug and kiss. And they're like, let's high five each other instead. They'll raise up my hand and say, high five. And they love it. They love that than hugging and kissing. When you tell your kids to hug and kiss, you're stripping away their right to have boundaries, because now they gotta get mommy and daddy's approval. So if mommy and daddy are friends with a pedophile, then how is the child going to have their own boundaries? This is something to think about. If people want to know more about my story, they can buy my book called Broken Silence. It's on sale now. Most of the proceeds will actually be given back to charities like Reach and any others that are doing the rescue and outreach.